You know, when you first open up Romans chapter 3, it can feel a little dense, right? Like you're reading some kind of technical legal argument. But it is so much more than that. What we're actually walking into is a high stakes courtroom drama. And the one in the dock? It's God himself. The questions being asked are about the very core of his character. And this is the question that just explodes right off the page. Think about it. If God makes promises to his people, and those people completely fail, does that mean God is unfaithful? I mean, really, does his faithfulness actually depend on ours? It's one of the deepest questions you'll find anywhere. And you've got to see, this isn't just some abstract theological puzzle for scholars to debate. No, this is a deep moral crisis of trust. It's asking the question, can we actually trust God to keep his word when it looks like everything is falling apart around us? The stakes just couldn't be any higher. All right, so let's step into that courtroom. The Apostle Paul is about to pull back the curtain on this very human tendency we have to put God on trial, to put him in the dock and cross-examine him. We're going to look at the charges, the accusations leveled against his character one by one. First up, the faithfulness of God. The first major accusation is a direct challenge to his faithfulness, and it's based on a logic that sounds pretty reasonable on the surface, but it's deeply flawed. See, this just exposes our default human way of thinking. Our logic goes something like this. Well, if God's people are unfaithful, then God's plan must have failed, right? If the promises look broken, he must be the one who's unreliable. We end up measuring God's truthfulness by how well we perform. It's completely backward. But Paul's answer to this? Oh, it's like a thunderclap that just shatters that entire line of thinking. In Romans chapter 3, verse 4, he declares, "Let God be true, though everyone were a liar." Wow. God's faithfulness, you see, is the fixed, unmovable point in the entire universe. It's our faithfulness that's all over the place. His truth never, ever depends on us. And here's the pivot, the crucial point. Israel's failure didn't cancel God's promises. No way. Instead, it showed just how desperately the world needed a truly faithful one, a perfect representative. And that's Jesus. He is God's absolute, unwavering yes to every single promise that our own obedience could never, ever hope to secure.
Okay, so let's move on to the next accusation, and this one is even more audacious. It's a shocking attempt to twist God's own goodness and use it like a weapon against his justice. Get ready for this. So the logic goes something like this. Hey, wait a minute. If my sin actually makes God's righteousness look even better, if it highlights his grace and patience, well then how can he turn around and judge me for it? I mean, shouldn't I get a little credit here for helping him look so good? It's a crazy argument, but you can almost see the twisted logic. And this just perfectly exposes this warped instinct we have to try and weaponize grace. It's an attempt to take God's incredible mercy and turn it into some kind of moral get-out-of-jail-free card, a loophole to escape any real accountability. Paul's response to this is just a sharp, by no means, absolutely not. And why? Because sin doesn't magically become a good thing just because God, in his incredible sovereignty, can bring good out of it. Let me say that again. God can use evil without ever endorsing evil. His grace never, ever relabels rebellion as righteousness. And if you want the ultimate proof of this principle, just look to the cross. I mean, think about it. Humanity's absolute worst act, the murder of the Son of God, became the very means of God's greatest act of redemption. And yet, that evil act was still judged as completely and totally evil. God used it, but he never for 1 second excused it. So all these arguments, all these accusations and defenses, they're all leading us somewhere. They're setting the stage for the final verdict. But this isn't just some legal ruling. It's a revelation. It's the moment that reveals the true shape of God's character, the cross of Jesus Christ. And this really brings us to the question that's been haunting the background this whole time. Can God judge sin, truly judge it, and still be good? Can he be a righteous judge who punishes evil and at the exact same time be a loving, merciful Father? Can those two things possibly exist in the same being? The answer is a resounding, world-changing yes. And the cross is the proof. It's the one place in all of human history where these things that seem like contradictions to us, justice and mercy, truth and grace, are put on full, perfect, and simultaneous display. At the cross,
God remains truthful. He said he would judge sin, and he did. He didn't just sweep it under the rug. He remains righteous. Justice wasn't compromised. It was perfectly satisfied. The penalty was paid in full. And yet, he remains merciful. In this unbelievable act of love, he's the one who provides the sacrifice. He takes the very wrath that we deserve onto himself. And through it all, he remains the judge. In fact, his authority to condemn sin is shown most powerfully right there, as he pours out that judgment on his own son. All of it, all at once. No contradiction. So you might be thinking, okay, that's a fascinating ancient legal debate. But this isn't just ancient history. The temptations that Paul exposes here in Romans 3, they are absolutely timeless. They reveal how we, right now, today, still try to put God in the dock. I mean, how often do we do this? We blame God for our own failures. We start to treat his amazing grace like a license to keep sinning. We twist theology to make excuses for our rebellion. Paul's words just slice right through all of that, both for his original audience and for us. So, if you take one thing away from this part of Romans, let it be this. God's faithfulness is not fragile. His justice is not up for negotiation, and his mercy is not naive. It is something else entirely. It is cruciform. It's shaped like a cross. That is the very shape of God's character. His faithfulness, his justice, his mercy, it all finds its ultimate perfect definition in the person and work of Jesus on the cross. And that, right there, is the final verdict. Jesus is the definitive answer. He is the place where every single accusation against God, every question about his character, every doubt about his goodness is silenced once and for all.